Hey, how you doing? It's T Mango here. You are listening to the Liverpool Connection podcast, and these are the music and football episodes.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. This is the Study podcast. I'm your host Dazza, and I'm actually thrilled with the guest I have on today. I grew up, as everyone knows, I'm a 70s kid, but you know, the mid 80s to late 80s is when the acid house scene hit the UK. And also, you know, I was listening to Stone Roses' Happy Mondays, and then all of a sudden this crazy breakbeat sound came out of a speaker and I was hooked, and I've been hooked ever since. You know, music, football and fashion go hand in hand. I've always said it, you know, they're all connected. But I'm very chuffed to bring on one half of the Ragga Twins. It's Trevor, Flinty Badman. His brother's not on because his brother's a Spurs supporter, and I feel sorry for him. But you know, we get the best one, and you're actually not twins; they're actually brothers. Who's the oldest one, Trevor?
He's the oldest one. We are.
There you go. Well, he's not the smartest one.
Nah, not.
But welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast, mate. We're going to dive right in. So. You started telling me before I press record about, you know, how you became a Liverpool supporter. So if you'd like to, tell that story.
Yeah, so what it was, we grew up in North London, and my dad was a big Tottenham fan. So he used to take us down to White Hart Lane and watch games and that. And yeah, we was young. I was born in 1966. So, you know, we was young, and so I was just like a Tottenham. I wasn't a supporter as such, but I'd go Tottenham, so I was like a fan of Tottenham. And one season, 73 to 74 season, Spurs lost 3-0 to Newcastle. And at that time, Newcastle weren't a good team as far as I was concerned. And I thought, I've had enough of this, because they was losing quite regular. And I remember I was playing football. We have an alleyway just down the road from us, and I was playing football there. And I said, and then the score come to me, and I said, right, I'm going home. I can't have enough of this. I'm going to change my team. So I went home and I looked in the paper. I looked at the fixtures that was on that day, because they used to have, then they just have the fixtures in the newspaper. You don't have no league table or anything. And I looked at it and I saw Arsenal, because they were the North London. I knew they was from North London. So I said, hey, I'm going to support Arsenal. And then for some reason, I just kept scanning through the paper, and I saw Liverpool, and I was like, I like that name, Liverpool. That's a lovely name. I didn't know much about the team or anything, but I was like, that's a lovely name. I like that. I'm going to support Liverpool. We have a younger brother as well. And I said to him, hey, I'm supporting Liverpool. He was like, yeah, I'm supporting Liverpool with you. So we all left. And actually, my older D-man, he a couple of weeks later, Spurs must have lost again. And he was like, I'm changing team as well. And he went and supported Leeds. Oh. But then, I don't know why. I think he always said he liked Billy Bremner and Martin Lorimer. Is it Peter Lorimer and them guys? So he supported Leeds, but that never lasted long. He went back to Tottenham. But me and my younger brother, we stayed Liverpool. So from 73, 74, that season, Liverpool fan. And that season, they got to the FA Cup final and beat Newcastle. And, you know, that favourite saying of Keegan 2, Highway 1, Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1. So it was Newcastle that beat Tottenham, got me to support Liverpool, and then Liverpool beat Newcastle in the final.
Nah, I'll tell you what, though. Like, who was your poster boy for Liverpool
in the 70s?
Yeah,
in the 70s, I was like Callaghan and Highway. Mm-hmm. Highway was just the don, man. The way he just like lined up players, he kind of lined them up on the side, and then he give the ball a drag, and he'll just leave the left back or the right back for dust, and then he's whipping across. And yeah, he was, you know what I mean, every time Highway got the ball, something was going to happen.
Yeah.
And also Toshak and Keegan, you know what I mean, they you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, Kevin Keegan's my boyhood hero, but my first match was 76. So he left in 77. So I only really got to, see Keegan for a year, and I was absolutely destroyed by it, because he was just, Jota kind of reminds me a little bit of Keegan, it's small frame, but he could get into positions and he could, dribble. But Toshak and Highway were just, those teams back in the 70s, the players were just, they were proper men,
Proper players, man. Proper players, man. And I play football myself, I was a really good footballer. I could have been a footballer and not a musician, Mm-hmm. And it was watching them guys, just watching them play football, that I learned a lot from them in my game, So,
So growing up in Hackney, were you, because for me, growing up in Formby, I played a lot of football in the street. Were you the same?
Yeah. We played a lot of football in the streets. As I said, we had an alleyway, and then we had a set of an estate not too far from us that had like a square, and they put up goalposts in there. We used to go there. Then they had a school. It was a Jewish school just around the corner from my house. We used to scale the fence. They had a big playground with goals up. Anywhere we could kick a ball. Even like when we used to watch FA Cup finals, me and my brothers, at halftime, our house had a wall in front of it. And at halftime, we'd go out in the road and like do crosses, headers, shots, boom, boom, one in goal, one, and switch it round. We was just constantly playing football. We was in our house, we'd roll up socks and put tape around it. And there's three of us, one throw the ball, one kick it, one's in goal, switch it round. We was just football mad. So beauty or anything to do with football, we was mad about it.
Yeah, those were the good old days. Especially just describing, the rolled up socks. I don't think any kid would know what we're talking about right now. Or if one of your mates played tennis, you'd grab a couple of his tennis balls and you'd use those. For me, for some reason, our garage was the goals, and my mum and dad weren't too very happy because the ball would smash against it, and I put a few windows out and blamed a few mates, on it. But you just don't see that much anymore. Kids playing in the street, just in their own little match. It's a different time.
Yeah, different. They got FIFA now, isn't it? So it's all under control at home. So. But yeah, it was a very different time, man. Anything to do with football. We used to, you had baskets outside supermarkets and that. Mm-hmm. We used to nick two baskets. They were only small, innit? Nick two baskets, get, as you said, a tennis ball, and we called it mini football. It was like one basket, one end, one the other end, and play. It was just, but yeah, you don't see that on the street no more. It is rough on the street, and parents don't want to let their kids out and all that, and I can understand that, but... the street growing up it was definitely got us to be who we are, and street-wise and everything,
Well, growing up in Hackney, even though I'm, 4 hours away, I just feel like I'm a million miles away, from Hackney. So your younger self growing up in Hackney, how was that?
It wasn't too bad growing up in Hackney. In the 70s, you had the racism, but where I was, it wasn't bad. And we had like a big strong community where we was. All the families knew each other. No matter what country was from, Asian or African and everything, the community was strong. So I never saw much trouble, but there was a lot of trouble. But myself, I never saw nothing. We was like, because the part of Hackney we was in, it was kind of like on the edge of Hackney, right in the middle. So we're on the edge. We was like, Hackney's east postcode, but my postcode was an N postcode. So I was N16, and Hackney is like East E8, E9, and that. So that's like in the middle of Hackney. So I was kind of on the edge of Hackney, but we grew up loving music, playing sound systems and that, playing football.
When was your first trip to Anfield? Like the mecca of football, you know, for me, obviously any Liverpool fan, that's your mecca, you know. It doesn't matter how many times you go to Anfield, I still get goosebumps.
Yeah, every time I walk in and I see the green and the thing, I'm like, wow, this place, you know. But the first time we went, so in the early days, we couldn't get tickets. So when we started doing the music, we was promoting our album, Reggae Owes Me Money, up and down the country. And we had gone to some record shops in Manchester and Liverpool. So when we was in Liverpool, they was playing that same day we was up there. So, but we was doing the thing the time the game was on. And so we didn't have tickets or anything, but we was like, we went back to old school, yeah? You know, when you go to a rave and you blag it and you get in, we was like, let's go there, it's half time. Me and my brother and the other guy was a driver, me and my two brothers. Half time we got there. I can't remember, I wish I could remember who we was playing, but I can't. But we got to the back gate of the cop, yeah? And we banged on the gate and the security geezer opened the door. He said, you can't come in. And we was like, listen, mate, me and my brother, we're Liverpool fans. We're from London. We're up here just promoting our album. We do music. And I've never been in here before. Come on, man, let us in. And he looked at the four of us and said, go on then. And let us in at half time. So I remember the score was 0-0, right? This is so bad. It's so terrible. The score was 0-0. We had the driver waiting outside, yeah? And it's coming to like injury time and that. And we're like, he's waiting, you know, he's waiting. You know, he's making up noise, he's cussing, you know what I mean? Because he didn't come in, he didn't like football. So we left, innit? And as Liverpool do, scored a late winner. We was outside, we heard the crowd. We was like, oh no, can't believe it. We missed the goal. But yeah, when we walked in, the copy was standing at that time as well. So we walked in there and it was just amazing that first time we walked in. Then after that, you know, we knew a few guys from up in Liverpool and they started getting tickets for me and my brother to go up.
Yeah, so, it's tough these days to get tickets.
Yeah, I've managed to grab a couple already for the Aston Villa game and Tottenham game next year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's always nice to get them secured, you know?
Yeah. So hopefully I don't get called away on a tour or anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that's... I mean, you talk to, you know, I've talked to a few musicians and, you know, like Barry Ashworth was saying he used to have like the laptop open while he's performing and then he'd run stage to go, you know, get a glimpse of the match and stuff. Is that what you try and do as well?
Yeah, that's what we do. If Liverpool's live and we got a performance going on, get it up on the phone and just lean the phone up. Many times people have taken videos as they're watching football. But they're doing our thing, but the football's on. It's got to be on. We've been on boat dances. Liverpool was in the Champions League final. No, it wasn't Liverpool, actually. It wasn't. I can't remember who it was in. But, you know, football was on and we had to watch it. And we was on a boat party and we just was on the boat watching football while the rave was going.
You gotta, you know, check the score. That's the thing. When Liverpool plays, you know, you want to be a part of it. So, any cup finals?
I went to the League Cup final where we beat Bolton 2-1. Was it 2-1? 2-1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. McManaman got both, really. Or was it McManaman and Fowler?
I'm not sure on that, but you know, I remember we beat Bolton, and it was a tough game.
Because that season, I mean, that season, I don't know if it was the season before. I mean, we was having problems with Bolton, weren't we? Mm-hmm. Remember, Bolton, every time we played Bolton, they was giving us problems, and they had just come up as well. Like, it was like, what's going on here? And we had a really good team. It's a shame that team never got a title. I really like that team, man. McManaman, Fowler, Redknapp, McAteer. It's a shame that Collymore and that, man. Yeah.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Like, even like we've had really good teams that just haven't won the league. I mean, just look at the Klopp squad. We've won one.
One, yeah.
I'm sure if City were playing by the rules, we might have got a few more. But they put out amazing players. You can't harp on at them for that. But that's the thing. The 2001, the treble. Everyone else will say not the real treble, but we still did win a treble. That was a fantastic team, I thought.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And in the 70s, when we was going for the so-called proper treble, and that was heartbreaking, man. Telling you that the Wembley final was heartbreaking. I couldn't believe we lost to Man United that day. We were so good that season.
Yeah. Are you talking about the FA Cup final? I actually went to that with me granddad. Yeah, and I was still a young lad. My granddad's like, I mean, for a kid, being what was it, 7 or 8, maybe? What year was that?
That was 77, isn't it? 77.
Yeah, 77. Yeah, I was 7. So I actually went down to Wembley without my mum knowing. My granddad was a shifty little bugger, I'll tell you that. But it took him a very long time to get over that. Like, it hurt. But 4 days later, we were in Rome and won the European Cup. So it kind of, it didn't hurt me as bad then, just because I was just caught up in the moment. If it happens now, you're just devastated. I mean, because Liverpool are part of your soul. They are.
That's right. Yeah.
And we've just had like so many heartbreaking, finals. That you just all you have to do is just keep going again and again and again. That's all you can do.
We know they'll give us good times again. We definitely know that. You know what I mean? We know they'll give us good times again. So,
of course he will. I mean, you've got to, I'll say it a million times. A lot of people get too invested in Twitter. I've done it myself. I've got caught up in it's opinions, but then opinions turn into nastiness. You've got these. I call them Debbie Downers. They think Liverpool, that's it. We're not going to challenge again. We're not going to do this just because we don't spend this amount of money. And, we still have Klopp for another 2 years till 26. And it's it's the rebuild that a lot of people are looking for.
I still think our team is a good team. We need the builders, but I still think we've got a good team. And what has given me hope more than anything this season was the last 10 games of last season.
Exactly.
The way we went about that has given me a lot of hope for this season. And I'm
100% with you. I mean, players don't go to crap. Like top players, like Fabinho, he had probably one of the worst seasons he's ever had. Van Dijk as well, but they're not. Overnight, they don't turn bad. It's just that the whole team just got affected by the season before. I'm sure for yourself and for your brother, and I've said this, tomorrow you get platinum record, right? And then you put another album out to see, next year, and it bombs. That's got to take,
Yeah, of course it will. Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think people really don't think about that. They came close to godlike. I mean,
and they never got the respect they deserve for even coming close to that. they just got bombed by the people. Like, you never done this. Remember, we wasn't the holders of the Premier League. We weren't the holders, so we can't lose something that we never had. So we never lost the Premier League. We wasn't holders of the Champions League. So we lost the final, yes, but we weren't holders. And it was a one-off game, and it's Real Madrid. You know, what could you say? But to get to them positions in one season and to nearly do it, because that was nearly doing it. I mean, Man City, look how much times we've had to battle Man City, man. That meant that, I mean, they've had to do that twice before and then do it again and still lose that. That must affect you following on, you know what I mean? It must affect you. And yeah, I saw that at the beginning, at the first game of the season against Fulham. I saw that these guys don't look like their head's not really, because passes were going astray and everything, you know. It looked like they was ready from what happened to them the season before.
Yeah, I just think Klopp has, you know, that the hunger's still there. Like, I mean, it was great just, you know, watching the lads see each other again, you know, for pre-season. Yeah. Like after last season, I was finished with football, you know, which is hard to do when you actually have a Liverpool football podcast. But I didn't want to talk about football. I just wanted to put it on the back burner and just forget that I was a Liverpool supporter for a couple of months, you know, but you can't, because you still got to talk about the you know, how bad the season was. I'm with you. You know, the last 10, 11 matches showed me that there's still a team there, that there's still these amazing players. And, you know, maybe the jigsaw puzzle isn't quite put back together, but bringing in the two midfielders, I think, is going to help.
Yeah.
You know, there's talk maybe getting a centre-back in, or at least a DM in. I still think Fabinho, like everybody's saying Fabinho's lost his legs. Fabinho, to me, is a fantastic player. You know, he had a bad season, and I think he can get back to where he was a couple of seasons ago if he has the players around him that can do the pressing, that can do the running.
That's right. He does, yeah, he does, and he came to nearly his own in them last 10 games as well. He was nearly back to his best. So, you know, and they get a full pre-season this season, you know, where last season they didn't, and then you had the World Cup and everything, you know. Let's wait and see, man. Don't doubt. Just wait and see. There's been a lot going on for these ballers, you know what I mean? And, you know, as we say, Man City's got a team. They've got two teams, so you can't say nothing about that. And Arsenal had I'd call it a very freak season where everybody else wasn't doing too good and they was, you know what I mean? So it's going to be a hard season for everybody because everybody's stepping up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to reach the level Man City is at. And it's going to be hard, but, you know, I have faith in Liverpool because there is still a bunch of great footballers at that club.
Yeah, I think, you know, Núñez, he scored 15 goals. And, you know, I think when you compare him against Haaland, you know, it's yin and yang. I mean, yeah. Haaland's a robot. I mean, he is. He's a tremendous player. But he'd already had quite a few seasons, you know, at Dortmund. And Núñez had only had one season at Benfica. Haaland knew English. Núñez didn't. And still he gets... We forget he scored 15 goals. Anthony for Man United was bought for 80 million and scored... I think he scored maybe 3 or 4, you know. Yeah. Jesus for Arsenal. Not that great either, you know, but everything is always like, when it comes to Liverpool, is like times 10, you know. Núñez, he's a flop. No, he's not a flop. He's not a flop. You know, this season will hopefully be his breakout season, and I think he's our Captain Crazy, I like to call him. He's just so chaotic, but I'd have more issues with him if he wasn't getting in these positions to score. You know, but he is.
Exactly. Because that's what, when I was at, like, I played for Charlton and I played for Spurs and I played for Enfield Town. And every coach that I was a striker myself, so every coach that coached me said, be in the position to score. If you're not in the position to score, if you're shying away from the position to score, you're not doing your job. If you're there and you miss, you're in the position. Something's going to go in. I was a deadly striker at the end of the day, but you know that's what they always taught me. So, and that's what he does. Nunes does that. He's in the positions. He makes the runs. He doesn't shy away. You know what I mean? He doesn't try and make the easy option. He tries. So. And I think that first season has bedded him in well. He got 15 goals, and I'm sure he'll look to improve on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I never ever thought Gakpo would hit the ground running. I think he's been absolutely super. Yeah. So you know, it's always good to, you know, a lot of people are asking. Well, you know, we're all asking like, where's Nunes going to play if Gakpo continues? You know. What he's doing, but that's a good problem to have, isn't it? You know,
exactly. Klopp likes them problems.
Same with Jota as well. You know, I mean, front three would probably to start against Chelsea would be Diaz, Gakpo, and Mo.
Yeah,
but it's great to have Nunes and Jota be able to come off the bench.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you want. You know, and I think this season you're going to see more rotation with that the front five, and same with, I think, you know, the young lad Doak. I think he's going to get quite a few minutes, depending on how the season goes for the lad. But I mean, for Klopp, you know, I get a lot of people just like, you know, with Klopp letting Carvalho go on loan, people having a go at him saying he's not giving the youngsters chances. But then you've got Jones. He gave Trent a chance. You know, first match I think was against Man United. What better chance? He's given Doak a chance, Elliott a chance. Elliott. He is bringing these youngsters in, as well.
Yeah, Majestic, yeah. So he does. I like Carvalho as a player. I think maybe he needs to beef up a bit, you know, and maybe a good season on loan where he's playing, because when he played that season in Fulham in the Championship, he was really good. So maybe a good full season on loan, get him to playing a lot of football, because he wasn't getting much football. But, you know, he scored an important goal for us, a couple of important goals. You know what I mean?
Who's your breakout player for this coming season?
My breakout player for this coming season, I really think if Trent sticks to that position, he's going to have an outstanding season. Mm-hmm. As the youngsters, I would go. Trent's a youngster still, isn't he? But as the youngsters, I would go with the Spanish boy. Pathetic. Is that how you say it? Because I can't pronounce it all the time.
Some say pathetic, or I mean, that's how I pronounce his name. So I don't think it really matters, because you know we kind of know who you're talking about. Yeah. I mean he was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm looking for them to do well this season, but I'm looking for Trent to have like an outstanding where nobody's got a bad word to say. That's what I'm looking at with Trent, like assists and everything, like, you know what I mean?
He looks ready to go. I mean, he you know, anybody that cuts short their holiday, because he was over here in the States, doing pre-season training away from, you know, the Liverpool camp. So he means business. He's an absolute, like, I mean, 100% he's going to be captain of Liverpool at some point. I would probably say maybe next 4 years. But yeah, wherever he plays, I don't think he's going to be put in midfield 100%. I think it just depends on the opponent.
Okay.
So I think he'll play the hybrid role, you know, a few games, then he'll play just right back. I just, you know, he just seems to thrive and playing that hybrid role into midfield. I mean, just watching him last season, and then even you know when he played for England, you know, I watched the highlights. The lad is just an incredible footballer.
I don't know how he sees them passes, like that pass to Saka.
Yeah,
I was like, where did you find that from? Like, ball came to me, just went whoops, like whoops, right to the guy's foot. I was like, boy, I'm looking forward to seeing you next season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got eyes in the back of his head. But that's also like, I think, just knowing the players he plays with. You know, even though he doesn't play with Saka on a regular basis, he probably watches videos of Saka and knows where he's going to run to. That's game intelligence for me. You know, he's such an intelligent, especially for being 24 years old. He's just, his game intelligence is just absolutely amazing, and the world's his oyster. I mean, I thought Gareth Southgate, for not playing him in the World Cup, was just a travesty.
Yeah, definitely. You know? I couldn't understand it myself. Couldn't understand it. It's like, but it's Gareth, isn't it? Gareth, he's the manager. But yeah, couldn't understand it.
Yeah, I don't really watch England too much, but it's just not my cup of tea, you know. But yeah, I think Trent is just an absolute amazing player. I think if he has, you know, a top season, which I think he could, you know, he could win Footballer of the Year. Yeah. He's just on it. But I want to delve into, you know, your musical past. So growing up, what was your family's music? For me, pretty much one of my best mates, Mark, his parents are from the West Indies. Yeah. So, you know, I grew up on a lot of reggae and dub as well, you know, and then, you know, the specials kind of changed the way I look at music as well. For yourself, what was played in your house?
Well, yeah, mainly reggae was played in my house, like John Holt, Dennis Brown, and them guys, them old school singers. And also, like in the morning when we're going to school, we'd have radio, Capital Radio on. That would be playing popular music, you know. So, but yeah, it was mostly reggae. We grew up on reggae and calypso, because my parents are from the smaller islands of the Caribbean, where where calypso really is their main music. So yeah, calypso, reggae, Studio One, them type of stuff. My dad used to go out at weekends when he got paid. He'd always, every weekend, he'll come with a new album or some 7 inches, and yeah, we'll just play them. You know what I mean? He say, I got this one today, and they give it to us, and mostly on a Saturday, and we just play music on a Saturday afternoon while till the football starts, because you listen to football on the radio.
Mm-hmm. So when did the MCing start? I mean, were you starting to hear American hip-hop?
No, it wasn't American hip-hop. It was Jamaican reggae artists like Big Youth, U-Roy, I-Roy, Prince Buster. So them guys were doing like toasting, where it's not fully lyrical and that. It's just like, it's like a hosting thing above the music. So the singer will be singing and they might say a part what the singer says, but in the kind of toasting style of things. Like, and we was listening a lot of that, and we was getting into that. D-Man, he was really getting into it. I was doing more football, but I was still listening to music. But D-Man was really getting into it, and he was like, "I'm gonna do that one day. I'm gonna be one of them doing that toasting." And we used to get cardboard boxes, say, and cut out a guitar or something and make a microphone on a thing, and then pretend we're a band, because it's 3 of us. We used to pretend we're a band and playing for my mum, and D-Man would always be doing the toasting, and me and my brother would either do one of the other parts, you know what I mean? And then after a while, D-Man started going out to clubs when he got a bit older, 16 and that, and started going out to clubs, and he'd jump on the mic, because he started doing it at school. he was at school, they had the music. He told me they used to go music, and all his friends could play instruments, but he couldn't play no instrument. So he just started picking up the mic and doing the toasting. So in school, and then started going to parties and that and chatting on the mic. His friends would egg him on, say, yeah, go and pick up the mic, go and do your thing and that. So he started doing that, and then I kind of followed his footsteps in that, although still doing the football because my dad wanted me to be a footballer. And so still doing the football, but wanting to do what D-Man was doing, following your big brother, you know what I mean? And I started doing it. Then one of my friends, his name's Sean Major, rest in peace, he passed away a few years ago. At school, he said, yeah, I want to build a sound system. He was only young. He was like, what? I was like, what? He said, yeah, I want to build a sound system. I want me and you to be on the mic. And we had another friend named Victor, and I want Victor to play the music because the three of us was close. And I was like, all right. So in woodwork, we built an amplifier case. Now we put our amps in and that, and we built one speaker box. And we sneaked it out of the school because they wanted it for exhibition. But we wanted it to play to build our sound. So we sneaked it out of the school. We got amps and that. We put a speaker in it and that, and built a little sound system. Me and Sean, we was doing the MC and mate was playing the music. So we had our little sound system, what was called Sir Cruise. And then from there, that little sound system was playing in the area. Our friends would come around. We had a blues, we call a blues is like a party that you'd have on a Friday and Saturday night. It was in my uncle's house. He had a cellar. So we put the sound down there, and every Friday and Saturday night we'd go in there and play music. D-Man would come down now as well because there's a sound to chat on, and we'd be doing our thing in there. Then one day my sister met somebody who had a bigger sound, and they was from the Tottenham area, and they was called Jamarcus. She said to him, boy, my brothers are MCs. Well, at them time, we're called DJs. We weren't called MCs, we're called DJs. So she was like, my brother's DJs. And they come down and like chat on the sound. And this sound would play every Tuesday night in a place called Lecture Hall. And they'd invite other sound systems down. So it'd be 2 sound systems in there. And we started chatting on that sound. And from there, D-Man progressed to a big sound in North London called Unity. Don't know if you've heard of them, Unity High Power. He progressed onto that sound, and I progressed onto a sound called Jemmy Magic. They was from the Stoke Newton area. 2 big sounds, but Unity was a bit bigger than Jemmy Magic at the time. And then, yeah, we started doing our thing, getting a big name for ourselves. It happened one day, there was a dance, and Jemmy Magic was and Unity was in the same arena. And the whole talk in Hackney is like, who's going to be better, D-Man or Flinty? Because Flinty's on Jemmy, D-Man's on Unity. You know what I mean? There was a big buzz, and everybody came for that buzz. You know what I mean? We didn't clash, but you know what I mean? And that was good for us. And, you know, things were starting to build up. And then I joined D-Man on Unity. I left in Magic and went over to Unity because a couple of the DJs had left Unity. So me and Sean, we went over to Unity. And it was me, Sean, and D-Man on Unity for a bit. Then we brought in Specky. Have you heard of Navigator?
Yeah,
Specky?
yeah.
We brought in Navigator, so we started working on Unity. Yeah, Unity was our sound for like from 1985 to 1990. So then after that, Unity, big sound, playing everywhere, getting lots of props, getting your name everywhere, winning awards and that. But we weren't getting enough. We wanted to make records now. We wanted to make records. We wanted to be artists. He wasn't taking us to the studio. We wasn't releasing enough records. One a year or something. And we wanted to release more records. Other sound system guys, Tipper Irie, Tenor Fly, rest in peace. All these guys, they were releasing music. And their music was even getting played in Jamaica. And that's the pinnacle. When you're a UK artist, that you want your music to be played in Jamaica. And we weren't getting none of that. So we decided after the end of 99 we was going to leave the sound and try and pursue an artist's career. We didn't have nothing planned or anything, but God was on our side where this is all going to be funny, yeah? So D-Man got a job working in a jeweler's, a pawnbrokers, I think it was, or electrical shop, one of them. Smiley from Shop and Dance, Smiley and PJ. Smiley from Shut Up and Dance made that song Lamborghini. You know that song? You must know that song.
Yeah, with yeah.
He's made that song and he sampled D-Man from one of the Unity cassettes, because we used to tape our sessions and that. So he sampled D-Man, just that little request to our little acid people them, because D-Man had the lyrics about the acid house thing. And anytime before you start a lyrics on a sound system, you'd say something to introduce the lyrics, then you go into the lyrics. And so they sampled that bit, put it in the song. He's come to see D-Man at the record, at the shop D-Man was working up to clear the sample. He says, I'm going to put out this song. Could you clear the sample? D-Man said, yeah, that's cool. D-Man didn't really know him at the time. And then D-Man said to him, yeah, but could you do anything for us, you know? Me and my brother, man, you know? He goes, what do you mean, can I do anything for you? Yeah, man, come down to my house, come and see me. So we went down to see Smiley. So this is where it gets interesting, yeah? I've walked in the house and I've seen Smiley. And I goes, I know you. And I've seen PJ. And me and D-Man, both of us together, goes, we know you. Yeah? So Smiley now, where I said to you I had a sound system called Sir Cruz, Smiley had a sound system called Selena. We brought his sound system down to the basement where we was a couple of weekends. So their sound system will play with us. Mm-hmm. So we've got to Shut Up and Dance now, and it's him. So everything's like, oh, it's all, you're relaxed now because we're going into a new thing, the acid house. So you don't know what's going on and that. But once we've seen him and PJ, we went primary school with. So it's like something brought us all together where we all knew each other. And from we knew that, we all looked at each other at that same precise moment and said, this thing's going to work. We said, this thing's going to work. We all know, we've all connected before. It's not like we don't know each other. We've all connected. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with us from hearing us on the sound system. And we were comfortable because we knew them. If you go into a studio, sometimes you don't know the person, you feel a bit uncomfortable. Although you know you can do your thing, you still got that little, is he going to like it? You know what I mean? That type of thing. Although he's called you and you know he's going to like it, but you still have that kind of feeling. So, yeah, and they told us what to do. And then the first song, Spliffhead, came out. And it just got to number 40, just outside the top 40, Spliffhead got to as the first single. And yeah, Ragga Twins were born. The name, we didn't have a name for what we was doing because we thought we was just going to be Demon Rockers and Flinty Badman. And they was like, nah, go as a duet. Go as a duet. If you go as a group, it's going to be stronger. We just need a name. And we just came up with the name Ragga Twins. And then Ragga Twins were born in 1990.
Well, I just want to say the word spliffhead, that's the first time that's ever been used on this podcast.
Do you have to edit that?
No. I'm just thinking in my head. We've had so many guests with so many stories, and I'm just like, yeah, nobody's ever used the word spliffhead. That was a double A side, right?
Yes.
Illegal Gunshot.
Illegal Gunshot, yeah.
So like when you were in the studio, was it more they just wanted you to toast, or did you have input on, the sound?
They built all the music. They was, because we weren't building. They built all the music and they left all the lyrics to us. So with Spliffhead, they just wanted a good sample, that catchy. And we didn't understand what we meant. We just wanted to chat all over the tune. And yeah. But they just said, no, we just need something really catchy that. And so we just started saying stuff in the thing, and I come up with Ragga Twins, they're bout. And they was like, yes, that's the one, you can stop now. And me and my brother was like, what? They said, yeah, we're going to just put that in this song, and it's going to say Ragga Twins, they're bout. It's there, and that's going to be the one. And me and my brother was like, that's not going to be the one. We didn't know, but they knew. We're like, what, just that? He said, yeah, but on the other side, we're going to bill a rhythm and you lot can put your lyrics. So that's how the format was. One side for the dance floor and one side for the clubbing and whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy to think how yourselves and Shut Up and Dance, because Shut Up and Dance are legendary record, so both of you combined, and I'm sure, not so much now, but pirate radio stations would rinse that.
Yeah. The Pirates radio stations were rinsing their tune. I mean, even when we done the first tunes, we had a few mates that was going to these acid house parties. We were still going to reggae dances. Even though we doing this English up and dance, we're still going to reggae dances. So in the week when we see one of our mates, they'll be like, "Nah, man, you mans need to come to these dances. Your songs being played every DJ. Every set, the DJ is playing your tunes. You don't need to come down there and jump on the mic." And me and D-Man, we still didn't believe what was going on. We didn't understand what was going on. It took us a few months because we started doing gigs. When we started doing gigs, we was doing the gigs, leaving the rave and going to find a reggae party. That's what we was doing, because we didn't understand what was going on in the scene. And then it was only one night one day we headlined a big festival. Well, I don't know if it was festivals at the time, but it was a big outdoor thing in Essex County Showground. And it was us and Prodigy headlining it. And there was about 25,000 people. So we're like, it was a nice, hot, sunny day, outdoor, everything. The first time we'd done an outdoor thing with this. And we was like, yeah, let's just stick around and just see what's going on. And we stayed right to the end. And from that day, we never went back to a reggae dance again. We just like raving in these acid raves and going everywhere, up and down the country with our mates. Our mates were like living the hype because they were moving with the Ragga Twins. They're my friends, you know what I mean, and all that. It was just a good time. Everybody was happy, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, back then, everyone was a bit more carefree, I mean, obviously, ecstasy took a hold of the acid house and rave scene, but, without the music, there is no scene.
That's right. Without the music, there is no.
It was just, just an insane time back then. I sometimes feel like I'm a granddad sometimes talking about the rave scene, because it does seem so long ago.
Yeah. And even when these guys talk, because we didn't, you've heard about the M25 thing where they all used to meet up, then follow the convoy and everything. We missed them times. So when the guys like Mickey Finn, Frost, all these guys, even some of my mates, Brocky, and them, when they talk about them times, you know what I mean? I feel a bit sad that I missed them times, although, we still caught a very, very good time of it from the 90s up until the jungle era. And that was a really special time as well. But missing that, like driving in the convoy and then a big truck when they say the big truck just pulled the thing and all you saw was speakers and the man just switched it on and off you went, you know what I mean? And then the police couldn't do nothing because there's so much people, so they just let it carry on, all that. You know what I mean? We missed all that. And when I hear people talk about it, it even wells me up because, you know what I mean? Being Ragga Twins, there's a lot of people that think we was at them times, but we have to tell them we wasn't. And it's just the truth, isn't it? You know what I mean? I can't say I was there when I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like just meeting up at petrol stations, like before and after. I mean, anybody that worked at a petrol station during those years, I mean, it must have been like, I mean, can you imagine social media back then?
Yeah, imagine
if we had it, the videos that we'd take of a lot of these, ravers coming back to their petrol station and getting Rizzlers and all that stuff and just off their heads. But yeah, it was a great time, and then, obviously, the Margaret Thatcher era, just stopping these raves kind of just put a dent in everyone's lives. But for yourself, I mean, you've been in the game for so long. You've got to. I always ask, like, do you scratch your head sometimes and say, people still love what we do?
Yeah, it's kind of amazing that people, even like youngers, they're into us, like. And sometimes you go out and you do a gig and they're just all young guys and they're really into our thing, and we're like, God, we're like 50 odd, and these new ravers are still feeling what we're doing, you know what I mean, and telling us we're the best and all that, and like, you've hardly heard me. I'm sure you've only heard me a couple of times, but the impression that we're leaving on people must be really good, and that's what really keeps us going. You know what I mean? If it's not for the people, then who's it for? You know what I mean? If it's not for your fans, who's it for? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's what gives us the inspiration to just keep doing what we're doing and entertaining until we take our last breath.
Well, how did the Skrillex collaboration come about? I mean, you know, talking of young'uns, you know, Skrillex is at the top of his game. You know, yeah. I'm kind of glad he's got away from the squeaky, squelchy dubstep, because to me, dubstep is a bit more like scream for me.
Yeah.
You know, and then kind of Skrillex kind of Americanized dubstep, made it more, you know, like squelchy. How did that collab come about?
So we done a sample pack with Luke Masters, a triple sample pack, and he must have purchased it or got it. He made a song with one of the lyrics, and then when he done the song, he wanted us to redo it. So he was over to do Glastonbury one in 2014, I think, and he booked out a studio and called us up to redo it, and yeah, that's how we got to do Ragga Bomb. So basically, we have to give thanks for the sample pack for that one. You know what I mean?
How is it working with him? Is he, you know, very strict? Because, you know, I know some, like, you know, I've listened to Noel Gallagher before, and he says he's a 9 to 5 in the studio, and that's it. Is Skrillex more like?
Skrillex is an all-nighter. He's all night, definitely. But it was relaxing because we've got to the studio, and he's got decks set up as well in there, and there's no rush, you know. He just went in there and then started DJing, played music, and then we'd have a chat, and then he'd set up what he wanted us to do, set up the stuff. He done a thing that we've never seen before. He had a bucket. So say we had the mic in front of us here, and about 10 yards away, he had a bucket with a microphone in it. So I don't know what it was catching, but he said it catches, like, when we're chatting, we're coming through the earphones. We've got the headphones on, but it's catching the whole room. That's what, but it's dampening it in the bucket. So when that mic is picking it up, the mic's in the bucket is kind of dampening, making a different kind of sound that he can use. And that's the first time we ever saw that. So that was amazing. But he's very energetic in there. We had a few mates out there. We couldn't see outside the booth that we was in. But when we came out, my mate said he was bouncing all over the place. He was in that corner. He was over there, and he bounced over there, and he's going, yeah, that's the one, that's the bit. And then because we were doing stuff over and over, you know what I mean? And yeah, he was really energetic, and it was a real pleasure working with Skrillex, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just seems like, you know, he's a down-to-earth lad. I mean, you know, you see him now with Kieran Fortet, and
yes.
Fred again, you know. They just make a formidable, you know, triple threat. But he just seems like he's down to earth, and, you know, he knows what he wants. I mean, I saw the, like, mini documentary of him working with the Doors.
Okay.
I mean, just insane. Just the sounds, you know, he wanted, you know. Yeah. I mean, and you're just going, you're asking the Doors to, you know, obviously without Jim Morrison, but you're asking the Doors, like, you know, can you do that again? I mean, I'm like, you've got to have some big balls to, like, talk to the Doors and say, hey, can you run that by me again? Yeah. Yeah, I love his enthusiasm. You know, hats off to him. It's not my cup of tea, like the dubstep stuff. You know, like I said, I'm more into breaks and the drum and bass side of stuff. But yeah, I mean, for me, you know, you've been on labels, Moving Shadow, Botch It and Scarpa, some of the best in the business. You've worked with Ed Solo, I mean, again, a don of drum and bass. I mean, that's got to be great for you, seeing the end of the rave scene, doing the jungle that came through. Then you're on breaks, records. Then you're on drum and bass records. For your ultimate, you did, your first artist album. Do you want to do another full on artist album again?
Well, Matt, funny you should say that. We have an artist album in the pipeline, ready to be released in September.
Really?
And the first single is gonna be end of July.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm glad I asked that.
So that was all done. It was actually meant to be released in 2020, but obviously COVID came and put a stop to the plans. So we got time to go back into it, make a few changes, and get it up to date and more. And yeah, we're ready, and it's finally done. And it's coming out on Nice Up Records. And the album due in September, but the single's due at end of July. The single's called No Too Much Madness. Now,
is it going to be like full on dance, or you're gonna have some other?
So it's a variety of genres. So we have jungle, drum, bass, reggae, and hip hop as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Full mixture, because that's what we've been doing everything. So, before we do that, and we have some good features on there. We have Sweetie Irie, Tipper Irie, Daddy Freddy, Tenor Fly, Luciano, a few more.
Hey, you've said some good names already. So what I like to do, especially with musicians, is ask you your festival headliners for a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sets. You're dead or alive.
How many headliners?
Do one for Friday night, do one for Saturday, and then do one for Sunday. I always love to know musicians who they would want on there.
Dead or alive? Yeah.
Yes.
I'd have I've got them. I'm just trying to work that now. I'd have Bob Marley on a Saturday. I'd have James Brown on the Sunday. And on the Friday, I would have on the Friday, I think I'd have Snoop Dogg.
Nice. That's a good way to kick off a...
Yeah, Snoop Dogg kicks it off.
Yeah.
Bob nices them up, and then James Brown get them freak on a Sunday. Get them all.
Yeah, there's nothing like a bit of a freak session on a Sunday. During the day as well for us old folks.
Yeah.
Well, I also wanted to say, who would you choose from, past and present Liverpool players to be an MC? And I'm pretty sure I know who you're going to say, because there's only really one MC that's been chatting for Liverpool. So go on.
Johnny, if you hear this, hit me up, mate. We've got a combination to do, yeah? Johnny Bond.
Yeah, 100%. I thought you were going to say Andy Robbo for a minute.
Oh, is it?
No, it's got to be Barnesy, hasn't it?
No, if I tell you what, if I was going out on a night, it'd have to be Robbo, because he's got your back.
Yeah, he has. He's a bit, he's a family man, but you can defo probably have a good night on the lash with him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But Trevor, it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, again, it's great to Liverpool with you, but it's also great to talk music because, you're from, my era. And, I'm probably, telling all our ages now, just going on about the rave scene. Blah, 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 blah. But, I don't go out as much, anymore. I've got 4 little ones. So, I'm a homebody now, but, the rave scene has changed so much again with social media and same with, supporting Liverpool with, Twitter. You do something, it's on Twitter or Instagram or on YouTube or TikTok, but for me, I just wish kids would put their phones down and live in the moment,
Exactly.
And I wish more artists would actually tell these people, like, look, just if you want to take a quick photo or video, take it at the beginning and then put it in your pocket and enjoy the moment. I think that's where there's a disconnect for me. When I go out and hear DJs, I mean, I go to dance, not stand there and spend what's the point? Why not stay home and watch it on YouTube? Watch somebody else do it,
or someone's live or something. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, you are exactly right, because we done a gig in Bristol and they said no phones. Yeah, no phones. They had to take their phones away. And that was one of the best gigs I had in ages. The noise, everything, because everybody was concentrated on what was going on. Mm-hmm. So you are exactly right. Yeah,
that's what it is. And same, I think, at the stadium as well. I think there's too many people that go there and get the phones out. It's like, just enjoy. I understand, like, a lot of them, it's your first experience. I totally understand that. But then I'm like, now it's time to put the phone down. Why are you recording the whole match? You could have stayed home and watched it on the telly.
Yeah.
It's like, just put it down. But again, I'm showing my age. I'll get some comments later on going, you old fart. Who cares? But again, Trevor, it's been absolutely boss to have you on and chat about Liverpool and about the Ragga Twins. Please go check out. You said the single at the end of July.
The single's at the end of July. Too Much Madness on Nice Up Records.
And then the album drops in September.
Yeah.
And then you'll be seeing Trevor's brother probably not very happy with the Spurs season coming up. Will they or won't they sell Kane? Just depends. But we'll have a much better season than Spurs. I guarantee that.
Definitely, 100%, man. But I'll tell you the truth, he still would have loved talking to you, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
He still would have loved talking to you, but yeah.
Of course, because we're all involved in football and music, so but tell him good luck for Spurs, because he'll need
it. I will do. Okay.
But thanks everyone for listening in. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.